Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I had a couple of things that I had to do beforehand. Had a meeting this morning and it just went on a bit longer than I thought it was going to be. So, hi, Marlene, Suzanne, Kim. Lovely to see you here. Um, so, it's another lovely day here in Maryborough in Queensland. We've got nice sunshine. It's a bit cool outside, but that's okay. Um, Mum's not with me today. Mum went home yesterday afternoon, so she'll probably be back again in September, beginning of September. So she has her 95th birthday in September, so she'll possibly be here for that. Good morning, Roz. How are you this morning? Lovely to see you. Yeah, so anybody who's there in the background, please feel free to join in the the chat. Obviously, my tongue's not working this morning either. We've got a lovely group of people here. Everybody has a good old chat and we do some crafting together. So, I don't really have much to tell you this morning other than I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I live in Queensland, Australia. I live in Maryborough. So I'm here to help anybody who's looking for a crafting team to work with. I'm here if you need one of the annual catalogues. Just if you're a demonstrator, please don't ask for a catalogue. If you're local, I can drop it off to you, or if you're not local, I can post one out, but there will be a postage fee. Okay, so let's get started because I'm already a couple of minutes late and I just want to get on this morning. I'm off to have morning tea with my bestie, with Susie. Not Susie on here. I'm not going all the way down there. But my friend here is Susan. Yeah, so I'm going to pop over and have a cuppa with her and spend some time with her. She's the lady that came to England with us, and we've been back now. I think it's nearly 3 weeks, and I haven't seen her. So that's where I'm off to this morning. Alrighty, so we're going to do some iris folding this morning, and I'm going to try and make it as sort of like as easy as I can. It's not difficult to do. The hardest part is some of the cutting out, but we can overcome that. So let me go down to the other. There we go, down onto the desktop. Okay, so I'm working forward this morning. I don't know how my my camera moves itself overnight, and I can't even blame Mum because she's not here. I'm just going to grab, and I'm not sure that this is going to work, so I might have to look for some other paper. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this is iris folding. This is what you end up with. So the iris is this little bit in the middle here. It's a bit like a camera shutter or your eye, if you like. Okay, so you have all the colors around the outside. You can get so many different patterns, and I haven't brought the whole packet in because I do have heaps of them. However, you can look online if you go into Pinterest or anywhere, just type in iris folding patterns, downloads. There is a plethora of them. So we might have a go at a Christmas one today, or you can do something as simple as your triangles, which is what I did here, and I did this one last night. So it's quite a simple process to do. So you need you need 2 sheets to work with it. So you need one. So you can see here I've got the Christmas tree here, and I've also cut a Christmas tree out. This one you just need so that you can draw around it, she says, and looking to see if she can see her pencil, which currently I can't. I might have to just pop out and find it because it will be out there. All right. And then you need, so you can see how many lots of paper you're going to need, how many different colors. Okay. So with the Christmas tree, you're going to need 1, 2, 3 different colors. And then this one here, I usually do a different color because it's the base. So I've taken my other sheet and I've cut that out. So with yesterday's, I'd cut out the triangle and I had drawn it on my piece of cardstock. Now, usually with these, you need a reasonable sized card. So with this one, I would probably put it on a 6x6. So I am going to put this one onto a card today just so that you can see what it looks like, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do the other cards. So I'm just going to cut the card base at 6x6 if I can find some paper. Now I will say that when you do this part, don't use the thick cardstock, okay? Use the thinner cardstock, and there's a reason for that, which I will show you. So, all right, so we're going to go. We need a 6x6 card, so we can't do a 6x6 card. Well, how about that? Let's do. Let's do a. Let me see what this is. That's 4.5. Okay, so let's do a 5x5 card. So we need it at 10 inches. And then we need this at 5 inches, I think. Here we go. Let's see. And then we fold that in half. Now, you can get envelopes for all these, and you can make envelopes. Now, yesterday, I do apologize. It takes 2 sheets of 12x12 paper to make an envelope for an 8x8. I don't know where my head was yesterday. Alrighty, so on the back of here, you can see there's lots of, yes, it's very similar. So on the back here, you can see where we've put all the different, so this becomes quite bulky. The reason it becomes bulky is because our DSP is relatively thick. So when I've done it, I didn't think about it, but when I've done this in the past, I have used, just paper, not necessarily the thinner colored papers. Okay, so you can use any DSP that you want, really. So what I'm just going to do with this one, just so that we can see the edge of it a bit better, is I'm going to grab, let's say, the Timid Tiger, and I'm just going to pop around the edge of it with my brush, because I just want to be able to see the very edge of this card, because you do need to smarten it up just a tad. So we're just going to pop around the edge here like this. And I know this isn't showing you how to do it, but it'll just show you what we have as an end product. All right, so I'll just wipe that off of there, because otherwise I'll have it everywhere. And then you can see we'll pop this on here like this, and it gives us a card. So to stick this down, I'm not going to use glue. I'm going to use double-sided tape or tear and tape. I think the fun in this is the doing of it. It's very interesting when you see it coming together on the other side. I had planned to have this card made for you. It is interesting, Suzanne, and like I said, it can be quite therapeutic, really. It can also be frustrating if you do what I did last night, being smart and forget I was doing a bigger one and I forgot the combination of the colors I was using and in which order I was using them. So I'm going to stick this right across the back here because I want it to be well and truly stuck down. And so let's let me pull these off. You can just turn them up and then pull them out once you've positioned it, but just for today I'm going to do it quickly. And then I'm also going to do this one on the middle. So you can see our DSP has such great thickness to it. So now if I was just going to place this on this card like that, and then make sure that you can pop it down. Now that's why I use DSP and not glue, so that we would get it stuck down properly like that. And then what you can do, you can use whatever you've got. Like I've got some bits and pieces just hanging around here. So I could put that up there. I could put that in there. And you can see that would make quite a nice card. And you could put a greeting up here in the corner. Okay, so this one doesn't want to stick down there at the moment. So that's another reason to keep it well into the middle so that you've got a good edge on it. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So I thought today we would have a go at the Christmas tree. And then I looked at it and thought, ooh, there's some really skinny bits there. But I was looking at the greens and I was going to use one piece of glitter paper, but that's not going to work on there. So I'm just going to find another green that I can use that has a bit of sparkle in it if I can. Just to lift that a little bit. Actually, that's a good one there. So I've actually looked at both these. So there's that one, which is quite nice. And then you're not going to see a lot of it. And then there's this. Now this, look at the difference. I think that is a bit thinner. And I think that will work well. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll start off with 5.5 by 5.5 piece of card. And like I said, we'll use just the basic white cardstock. We're not going to use the thick. And we will cut a piece of, was that 5.5 or 4.5? Let me look. It was 4.5. Okay, so let's do it at 4.5. By 4.5. So that's the very start. Now, if you really wanted to, you could just use your ordinary paper from your printer or something like that. The other thing you can use behind here is just plain colored paper. You know how you can get colored paper, all your different colors? That would be another way to do this. Right, this has to go in the middle, and I just have to pop out 2 seconds because I think I took my pencil out the other room. Now my dog's decided to bark, but she can stay out there. I think my husband's out there. So what we're going to do is actually draw around this. And the hardest part is going to be cutting this out. You can see my little, we only need the outline. And then just around those areas like that. So that gives us the Christmas tree. Now, here comes the more awkward part, I suppose you would call it. This is very easily done with a knife if you're good at using a knife, but if you're not, take your scissors and cut into it, and then we're going to cut it out. Okay, so we're just going to come down like this, and you can see that by using something like a triangle or a square, which there are both, there's hexagons, there's octagons, there's all sorts of shapes you can use. And then it can get really, once you're into it, you can start doing things like swans. And I will get the other papers in a minute and I'll show you what you can do. And I've just cut that one a little bit low, but that's okay. So we're just going to cut round. I'm not used to doing this with scissors. Okay. And we will keep cutting. Now we can't go off because we're going to be using that. So we've just got to stay within the paper. All right, and then we're going to come around here. We're just going to do the same the other side. The further round you get, the easier it becomes. Sorry, need to hold that there so you can see it. There may be some bits that you just need to trim off at the end, which isn't unusual. And then we just go around these pieces. Like so. I don't think I've got my tongue out. I might, but hey, who knows? Right, up into there. Now, if you can work with a craft knife, I have to tell you, it is so much easier. I haven't done that today because I think more people tend to use scissors. All right. So there's just a couple of pieces here. You can see where I've missed the line. So I just go back in and cut those. There was one down here, didn't quite get the point. You can just go around it and pull out the bits that you haven't quite. And I must admit the Christmas tree is a little bit more awkward. I must, for years and years, I only used a blade. So I'm the other way. For me, using scissors like I do now is even for cutting out, and you've heard me say about when I do fussy cutting and that sort of stuff, we used to use a craft knife the whole time. I have a whole box full of craft knives, different shapes, sizes, and what have you, that are now redundant because I tend not to use them, especially if I'm doing live videos and what have you. But really, use whatever suits you. Okay, there's our Christmas tree. So what we're going to do now is we've got this Christmas tree here, and we're going to place this one over the top. And you can see here I've actually got a little bit too much cut out, but it's okay. So you can use some low tack tape and just pin that down. I just like to pop it down on a corner. And if you're not sure if your tape's low tack or not, you can put your fingers over it or rub it on your clothes. All right, so that's how we set the pattern, okay? So because we're doing a tree, I've chosen some different greens and we're going to have a look at what we're going to do. So some of these are really thin and some of them aren't. It's best to cut probably about 1 inch wide, okay? So some of them you won't need 1 inch. Some of them you will. So we're just going to cut, and you know, it doesn't have to be totally straight. These two are a bit thinner, but we can use those as well. And then we're going to do the same with this one. So we'll cut one. And that's about as straight as a dog's hind leg. Did you see that? I'm not sticking with the pattern on here because you're not going to see the pattern necessarily anyway. Now with this one, I'm just having a look because this is the ombre. So I'm going to I'm only going to cut 3 strips of this in case I want to use it, in case I don't want to have it cut into strips and then not use it, if that makes sense. We're going to use our tape to tape this down, and all we need to do is take, I've stuck that there and now it's going to be in my way, so I'll have to work above it. 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors. There are 3 colors on this one. Okay, so it's got here 1A. All right, so that I usually put something like a brown or something like that over it. Okay, so we're looking at our number 1. So we've got the 1 and the 1B. So I'm just going to do the first part across there. So what we have to do is fold each strip and get a really good sharp fold, because that's the bit that's going to show. All righty. So I should actually put that bit in first. So let me do that, only because if I don't, it's not going to look right at the end. So I'm just cutting this piece here to go down the bottom there, and I'm going to stick that down. I don't want it quite that wide. I'm going to stick that down and make sure that it doesn't come. If it does go up, I will trim it off afterwards. That's worse that way. So we'll pop it there like that, and I'm just going to tape that down. So it does become quite bulky. All right. You can see I've got a bit of tape going across there. That will come off at the end. I can take that off. So now we're going to start with the green. So we have, just trying to see what the little letters are. Let me have a look at this one. That's 3, that's 1A, that's 1B. All right, so we're only going to use 1 of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that over there like that. So you put the folded edge to the line like that, and then you secure it. Now this is where I could do with having Mum here, of course. You secure it at one edge. You can cut it off. So I know I can cut it there and it's still, it's got to come down. I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? Sorry, trying to. Okay, so it's going to go across here like this. And then we'll just secure this bit. And I'm going to cut that in half and secure that bit there. So that was the first piece. It's not confusing. Once I get going, you'll see what I'm doing. Alrighty. So then we'll use the second color because we go to number 2, which is down here. All right, it's all written on there. It's all written on the pattern, which place to, what number to use. So as long as you know which ones you're using, you're fine. So this one is going to go down here like this. I think what I'm going to do is cut off some tape and just put it so that I can just pull it off and use it. Okay, so then this piece, you can see this down here is number 2. So we're going to go down there and we're just going to stick that. I'm going to cut it here and stick it again down there. Once we get going with this, you'll see exactly what's happening. And then this one is going to be number 3. So this is our ombre. And that's just to give it a little bit of, and then we're just going to put this one down this edge because that's number 3. And you can hardly see it on this one until you get down to there. All right. So a little bit of sticky tape on there, and we'll just cut it about here. These pieces you can use. You'll be using them again. So we just stick that there. Right, so we've got, so now we need number 4, which is this one. So we're going back to this color here, and we're just going to pop that across there like that. What you can do, and what I tend to do, is not always have the tape doubled right over, just have a small bit. But to show you the right way to do it, before you make up your own ways of doing it, which of course everybody does, we're just going to put that piece there like that. So that's 4. Now we're going to do 5, so we can see that number 5 is that, but that piece isn't going to fit, so we'll just fold another piece in half. Hi Holly, how are you? So I'm up to number 5, and number 5 goes there. So we'll pop. It's just like following, you literally just follow the lines. It's not difficult at all. Chop that off. And number 5. And then we come back to number 6, which is this one again. And we're going to pop it there. And I think that's going to work quite nice because I think we're going to easily see the ombre effect on this tree. Number 6. All right, so now we're going to number 7, which takes us back to this one. You can see which one you're going to be doing. I'm hoping that one's wide enough. If it's not, I'll get another one. Yep. So now I'm going to start to cut them as I go because it's easier. And you'll see once you get going, you can get a bit of a speed up. Okay. The worst part is cutting the tape. So then you've got that one. And take it up to the line. That one. We've got number 8, which is this one. I don't think that's going to be long enough. So that one's not long enough either. And it's just a case, don't get rid of the pieces because you are going to use them for sure. So then we're going to do number 8, which we're going to cut here. And we can, please don't do that. Don't you hate it when you, so then we're just going to put number 8 on here. So you can see once you get going, it's not that hard. It tells you what color you're going to use. Now we're going back to the ombre. And what did I do with that ombre that I had? It's probably fallen on the floor or I've used it. So we're just going to just make sure that that crease is nice and skinny. So then we're going to put that one on there so we can attach it at that end. Like that. I'm going to chop it off about here. Actually, I could have chopped it further up. And that's number 9. So now we go to number 10, which takes us back to this one. So I'm going to pop that across there like that and chop it off here. That gets smaller and smaller as we go in, as you can see. Just be careful of that. If you put that over there, it's going to show up on the other side. Okay, so that is number 10, and then we want number 11. So this piece will fit in there. The fold against the line every time, Kim. Yep. And then we go number 12. Now you can, like I said, you can download these patterns off of the internet, and there are dozens. Like, I wouldn't show you something that it was hard to get. So now we go to 13, which is that one. Is that going to fit? So you end up with little pieces like this, but you know what? When you get into the middle like this, they actually fit. So it's number 13 going in there. 14, which is this one, which can go in there. The other thing you can do with this, if it gets a bit bulky on the back, when you go to put it on the card, you can, instead of trying to put it down flat, and now we have, sorry, what did I just do? Oh, number 15 now. Sorry, what was that? How can you tell which one is what for the paper? Is it the same paper for the same size? Look, you can, and this is what I was saying last night. I tried to be smart and do like a twisted twist, if you know what I mean. I've done them before, but you know, it's been a few years, so I got myself in a muddle. and ended up with the wrong colors. But with this, because we're using the same sequence all the time, you can actually lay your papers, if you like, in that sequence so that you know where you're going next. Okay. I usually just sort of count in my head. I know that I've just done number 15, so my next one's going to be 16, so it's going to be this paper here. And now we don't need to have such a thick piece of paper. Why'd I put that bone folder there? Because we're getting down to the really last few. All right, so I'm going to pre-cut this because I know I don't need a lot. And we're going to put 16. Oh dear. Mother, come back. No space for chat on. Okay. That's Mum. But you did get online. All right. I think what's happened, Mum, is you didn't go into your channel. You just went onto plain YouTube. So now we're going to do 17. I'll have to come up there one day and show you. When you actually went into YouTube, you should have gone to your channel. But because I did it on your laptop. But it's good that you're here. So Mum's on Facebook, people. Oh, look at that. Oh, no, I don't need another piece. I have this tiny little piece here, which is actually going to fit on there. So that is that. Now for the iris, which is the bit that's left in the middle, you can either use a color that you've already been using, or you can use something totally different. So what I thought I might do, just because I can, what have I got? Have I even got a green in there? I will put something just totally different and out there. How about that? We'll have how about we have a, let's see how this looks. If we don't like it, we can always change it. So what I've done here, you don't need to fold this because you're going to put it straight across. I've got a pink bit of glitter. And of course I can take that off if I don't like it. Everyone's saying hi to you, Mum. All right, so that's what it looks like from the back. Looks disgusting, doesn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take off the paper that's holding it down. So if you do pull off a little bit of card, it doesn't really matter. This is the back that we're looking at, but don't really want to. So then when we turn it over, we take the pattern out. That's what we have. Okay, so we've got our Christmas tree in a pot, and it's all your different greens. So that's what we've got. Okay, we didn't have to have the pink in there. It was just the first thing I grabbed hold of. Probably would have been better with a bit of sparkly green in there. So that is our card. And we will now cut the main card for it, which, what did I say it was going to be? 5 by 5, didn't I? What have I got there? No. So we're going to need 10 inches by 5 inches. let me just make sure that, yep. And then we'll fold that in half. So you get it? That's awesome. You couldn't imagine what was going to happen. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It is really cool. It's a bit like magic. So now we can put that on there. What I'm just going to do is sometimes when you look at it, you'll see that your sticky tape has come off the edge. So we'll just cut that down. And then I'll do something around the edge again. Let's go a bit more Christmassy this time, shall we? Maybe we should go with a bit of real red, maybe. We can do that around the edge. This was Mum's favorite technique, was doing the, oh, that's going to be really red. So we can do that around the edge. Look at that. Pop that around, make it as Christmassy as we can. All right. So obviously you can pop other stuff. Oh, I think I need a wet one of those. You can pop other stuff around it. Yes, that's it. I mean, this one, like I said, you could see quite easily your different papers as you went round, and then I just put a different one in the middle again. Alrighty. So choose what you want to use, whether you want fancy papers or whether you don't. So what I'm going to do this time, instead of trying to put it down flat, which it does get a bit bulky, and like I said, it's because of the quality of our DSP. A lot of papers, designer papers and what have you. Actually, what I might do is use, I think I've only got a thin one. I have, but that'll be all right. I'm just going to use, instead of putting heaps and heaps of dimensionals, I'm just going to use foam tape. So I'm going to cut that end bit off because it's got a bit of sticky tape on it. I don't want it causing me problems later. So I'm just going to stick this around here like this, and you may find, because this is on here, it'll bring it up to a level that it doesn't pucker. Pop that one around there. I'm not going to put this in the middle because obviously the middle is quite high anyway. And then the top tape's already come off of that. Mind you, it's probably 400 years old, but there. And again, along, that's awkward to work with, along there. So we can pull these bits off. Take your pick tool. To pull this off. So like I said, I'm not going to put it in the middle because it's already raised. So this time, instead of putting the colour around the outside of the card, we've put it onto the inside. So we're just going to get that as equal as we possibly can, because once it's down with this stuff, it's down. And that's not straight, is it? We'll try that again, shall we? It's not going to want to lift. I can see it. There we go. All right, let's try that again and see if we can, probably just as well, see if we can get that straight. There we go. So that's what we've got. Now, we can decorate this. You saw with this one that I'd sort of stuck a bit of that on there, and this was just bits and pieces left over from yesterday. And I could have put the flower there, which gave it that little bit of oomph. So what I was thinking, and I'm not sure whether this is still, live or not, but I know, goodness me, what, you know what, when I don't want it, it comes out all the time. When I do want it, I can't find it. You know what I'm looking for, don't you? None of that. That's not what I'm, here it is, there's some down here, look at this. Okay, so this is the vellum, which gives us some of the leaves. So I know you can cut them out. And I'm just going to cut around like a white one. Yeah, I love vellum. Love vellum. Could you use a thicker tear and tape? Because I want to try that. Do you have a very simple one to start? Yes, like your triangle is really the simplest, one of the simplest ones to start with. And it's not hard. You literally do just follow the numbers. So if you were worried that you were going to use the you know, the wrong numbers, you could actually write the colors, the numbers on your colors, so that you know when you're following it that you're using the right color for that number. And I'll get a large sheet in a minute and explain it a little bit more. I'll just cut this just because I want to give a few bits, put a few things like just to make it a bit more Christmassy. Could sort of, in actual fact, you probably don't need it. I'll have a look at it in a minute. So even down here, I possibly could have used a double lot of tape. And like I said, if you use thinner paper, guess what you're saying? 2 different papers instead of 3. So if you only use 2, you're going to have 2 parts of it the same. Yeah, like a legend. Have like, when you look at it on the paper, you can actually see how many. Where do I put them now? Oops. When you actually look at the pattern, you can see just by looking at it how many different colored papers you're going to need. So this one you're going to need 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. This one you're going to use 4 because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see when you're actually doing it how many papers you're going to need. So this one down here, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can tell by the curve or the whatever of the pattern. But you can also tell because your first ones will all be, one will be 1, 2, 3, and then you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's me off of the thing. All right, so you have like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's actually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so you can follow it around once you've got the pattern. Does that make a little bit more sense? I hope so. It really isn't difficult. The hardest part with this one is, like I said, because our DSPs are so lovely and sumptuously thick, it makes it a little bit more difficult to actually get this to work. So I'm just going to pop a mini in under here to help that. Did that work? Yeah. Or you can get your thicker tape. Okay, so that one that I used was a very thin foam tape, but you could get a thicker one. And the same in here, just because these areas here, usually the top and the bottom, are where you have most of your paper. So that's now stuck down and that looks pretty much fine. Poke it in there. There we go. So that's your Christmas tree. Yeah, it like definitely you know, print some off and have a look at it, you know, try it. Once you look at it, you can see how easy it is. So if I just hold up this one here, you can see we've got number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2, and number 3. And then we go number 4, number 5, and number 6. So, and then number 7, number 8, and number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's all written on there. You just need, once you've got the hang of it. Okay, Suzanne, we'll see you soon. I'm going out with Susie this morning, so I probably have to catch yours on a yeah, I'll catch yours on the replay. So that's what we've got. Then what we can do is we can put a nice greeting on. So what would we do? Let's use the red again. And we need, oh, goodness me, sometimes, there we go. We just need a Christmassy greeting. Let's see what I can find. I think I've got one up here called Greetings of the Season or something. Here we go. Again, this one might be retired. I'm not sure. Here we go. Here we go. There's one here which says Season's Greetings. I really worry about doing Christmas cards at this time. I know a lot of people do Christmas in July. So we'll just stamp Season's Greetings. Like I said, you can put, like I cut that out, but I didn't like it once I'd cut it out. It's a bit too different. So we've got the Season's Greetings there. Let's see. We can possibly put that, just goes around it, and that will fit up in that corner there. So I'll quickly run that through. And we can pop that up there. I don't know why I can only find small dimensionals at the moment. There we go. There's some decent sized ones. So 1, 2, 3 dimensionals on there. And we can pop that up there in that corner like that. And we could probably put some little sequiny things on there. I think I've got some, oh goodness me, don't drop that. Get some red ones out. I think we've got some red ones left, and if they're still available, I need to get some more of them. I know I only had a few left. Of course, you can always colour. Here we go. Our little red ones. Bye, Marlene. So, what we can do here is I'd actually be tempted to pop that on the top of there. And then we can have another couple. One there. And Mum's probably shouting, not there. And one there. Okay, so we can make our card look, actually probably take that one off of there and put it up here. So we can make our card look Christmassy, and then we can of course put an insert in. It stands up well, it's got a good shape. You don't see any of that working on the back because you've put it down. We do need something a bit higher than that tape that I used, but there you go. There's your Christmas tree, and it's made just with strips. So you can use, you can just use what you've got left over. Thanks, Sue. I hope it wasn't too hard to see what I was doing, but it is, you know, you can see where, as long as you've got your paper folded and the fold always goes to the line, then you will always get a neat finish. Okay, so let me go back up. Go back up here. Alrighty, so that was our card for today. Just a different technique for everybody. I'm glad you like it, Holly. You love it? Yes, that's okay, Kim. You can ask as many questions as you like. So it's up to you. You can either ask me on here, or are you on my Facebook page? You could message me on the Facebook page and I'll answer it as much as I can. Yeah. Oh, darn work. Hey, Sue. It's a nuisance. All right. So I will go now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. I've already done some tea bag folding with you guys back a few months ago. I was going to have a look at quilling, but you do need a quilling tool, so that's not really fair. So I'm not going to do that one at this point. But well, I suppose you don't have to have a quilling tool. I used to just use a pencil, but anyway, yeah. So we'll have a look at something new again tomorrow. But Kim, yes, anytime, just message me. And if I don't get back to you straight away, it usually means I'm at work or I'm doing something, but I will get back to you with it. Okay, not a problem at all. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here with me today. Look at that. See, I left all my cupboard doors open. I haven't got Mum here to close them for me. And I will see you all again. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's a work day. I will see you all again on Thursday. Okay, bye for now. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Bye.